Welcome to the 12th section of Rav Kook Yomi. It's again an honor to be with you today and continuing our learning in Rav Kook, and hopefully we'll finish this last teaching in this section on Eretz Yisrael. And it was a really wonderful section that we started with this idea, right, that there is this eternal flame within us always, that seeks to draw closer to Hashem, that seeks to have us draw closer to God at every moment. And it is really just a way of finding kalim for this and to expand it, to sort of blow on that flame, to expand it in that way. And he even said that those who are not yet righteous, those who aren't yet doing good, still have that flame. Each Jew has that flame inside it, just a small ember maybe, but it can be blown on and it can be expanded in that same way. And I talked about the idea that this should hopefully give us faith and give us chizuk, strengthen us when we're feeling so distant from God and we're feeling down. We should understand that we always have the potential to grow closer. So to continue where we left off, he says, "Uvaklalut ha'uma kula kol chefetz ha'chevret v'kol teshukat ha'chaim v'kol teshukat chaya klal prat kol tikva shel gelula rak b'mekor mayin chaim zeh hem novim they l'chiot et ha'chaim Yisraelim b'mloam b'lo stira v'lo hagbala v'zoti chukat Eretz Yisrael damat kodesh Eretz Hashem." Shebehen hamitzvot kulam mitgalmot umitbaltot bechol chaviotan. Sorry, I had to just get to the end of the sentence here. Right, so he says that also in terms of, not just in terms of the individual, but also in the whole nation, every will towards freedom, every desire for freedom, right? Now, what is the desire for freedom? To manifest oneself, to manifest what is within oneself without repercussion or without oppressive forces that are holding you back, right? All of that will inside really is the voice of God, right? It's that flame of godliness within that is trying to reveal itself, and that is felt within the whole nation. And I think a lot of, again, people who say, well, I don't believe in God, I don't, they're going to label this as, oh, I want to be free, I want to be a certain way, or this is, they'll use different terms, but really God is, right, in that way. And God is, whether you label it or not, right? That feeling is still there. And he continues. Kol chuklat chay klal prat kol tikva shel gula rak memakor mayan chayim ze novim, right? All hope for redemption comes from this origin point, this life spring of this inner fire. K'dei l'chiyot et ha'chaim Yisraelim below stira, right? To live out one's Jewish, or here he doesn't say Jewish, he says really Israeli, right? The Israeli or Jewish style life in its fullness, without any kind of stira, without any kind of conflict, and without any kind of boundary, lo hagbala, right? That we can live this out fully. Again, this is what freedom is, right? To be able to live out what is within oneself, which for the Jew is that Jewish, that Israelite flame within inside. V'zoti chukat Eretz Yisrael. And this is what the yearning for Eretz Yisrael is. And this is the key point I think he's trying to make here, right? That a lot of, like, what is yearning for? Like, am I yearning to live on some land, like this, some kind of special land, or what's the deal with this land? Like, why do we need this land? Isn't Judaism supposed to be about the spiritual? Isn't it supposed to be about drawing closer to God? Why do we have to draw closer to some physical thing? And he's saying that's not that. The yearning for Eretz Yisrael is the yearning to manifest oneself and the klaliut of the whole entire community together, right? And the way that godliness is revealed in that way, that yearning to manifest what feels like oneself, but truly is the voice of God, whether in the individual or in the community, is the yearning for Eretz Yisrael. That's what he's talking about here. For Eretz Israel, he says, a holy land, Eretz Hashem, it's Eretz Hashem. It's the land of God. Sheva hamitzvot kulan mit galmot mit baltot bechol chativotam. It's the place in which where we can manifest all of the actual mitzvot and do them, right? To do the things that we are actually built to do in this world, which is to do mitzvot, to serve Hashem, to do God, to make this world a more godly place in that regard. That is what this holy land is all about, right? This is what the holy land of Israel is made to do. And that's why we have a yearning for it, right? Which is expressed as a yearning for Eretz Israel, right? Eretz meaning, again, I think he's really getting into the term Eretz Israel, Yisrael, right? This Jewish flame, Eretz, physical manifestation, land. Eretz means land, right? To make those visions real and flourishing in and actually manifesting within the world. V'zoti chukat Eretz Yisrael Damat Kodesh Eretz Hashem Shava Mitzvah Kul Mikabatot B'chol Chativotan. As he said, Hachuka Hazot Shel Hotzat Tzivion Ruach Hashem Shel Nisiat Rosh Baruch Hashem Be'etzem Gedulato. Right, this desire, which now he's calling the release or the manifestation of all of the hues, all of the different ways of the expressions of godliness in its fullness, Baruch Hashem, to lift up one's head within the spirit of God, in God's greatness. It is constantly enacting itself on all of the hearts of the Jewish people. And everyone desires to be united with it. Now, this is a really important idea, right? You might say, well, what about the atheists? What about the people who don't believe in God? It's not that everyone desires to be close to God. God, that's not the way, at least what people seem to express. But he's saying that everyone actually feels this desire. Again, they just mislabel it to be something else. But everybody desires to be united with the release of what truly is in within self, which in modernity I think we call authenticity or being oneself. And I don't think it's that. I think it's the revelation of God. And I think that's what Rav Kook is saying here. They want to taste, and I love this, they want to taste the nice, pleasant taste of their life, right? That is what we're talking about. It's our own lives that we're living, right? To actually taste the godliness within one's own life, to actually manifest what one's supposed to be. And it's for that reason that I love your mitzvah more than gold, and more than things that are precious, as Tehillim says, the Psalm says, right? That's why we love the mitzvot so much, because they enable us to reveal the godliness within our own souls and to actually manifest that in the real world, to actually make us actually free, right, in that regard. Ve'amatz shebalev, and this overpowering feeling, the strength, this ometz that's in the heart, hamare lek olam kulo et kvurat uma b'shmirat tzviona, that shows that is made apparent to the entire nation, the power of the nation in guarding its specific hue, its specific way of being in the world, right? There's a need for the Jewish people to guard their way of life, right? To guard their unique contribution they could bring into the world. The unique way in which they reveal godliness in the world requires guarding. It requires careful keeping it in that regard, so that it doesn't get trampled. Shama va'ercha emunata masat nafsha klulahu b'chukat chaye emet, right? Its name and its value, the faith in it, and the way it lifts our soul, it's all included within the chukat chaye emet, the desire for true life, right? This is what we've always been desiring. It's just a matter of changing the label that we're labeling it. And if you're wondrous about everybody who's standing from afar, right? If people are wondrous, those who are standing from afar, how is it possible that all of those spirits that seemingly also have faith are so distant? Why are they so distant? But within them, this spirit of life, this vitality, this inner vitality thunders inside them. Lo lavad lekarvet elokim klalit ki'im l'chai Yisrael amamitim. And it's not just to come closer to God in general, but rather to come closer to the light force of the true, the most essentialness of the truth of what it means to be a Jew, of what it means to be an Israelite, what it means to be someone who is fully manifesting God's will through their body, through their will, through everything that they are. Bashira uvafolo, both in song and in action. Al yifla beinei kol hakashur b'mimke rucho b'toch amkea shel Knesset Yisrael v'yodea ad niflot tzeguloteh. Don't think this is crazy, that you can't do this. To connect to this inner depth of spirit within us, to connect to Knesset Yisrael, connect to the Shekhinah, the indwelling spirit of God that is revealed when all of the Jewish people are connected together, connecting all the disparate parts of godliness, the one God that resides uniquely in the soul of each Jewish person. Zeu razagvura. This is the secret of strength. Romu tachayim asher la'ed lo yitamu. Right? This is the elevation of life that forever will never end. Ushmartem et chukotai mishpatai asher yaseh otam adam achai behem ani Hashem. And that you should guard those mitzvot and those laws, that you should do them, that a person should do them and live within them. For that is what God is, right? That we live within our mitzvot, that we live out our values and manifest them in a real way. And the yearning to reveal oneself really is the yearning to reveal godliness in our unique way that we can have. He says in Vayikra, to walk before God in the land of the living, Zo Eretz Yisrael, and this is Eretz Yisrael, as he says. This is a midrash on that Psalms there. That what it means to litalech b'lifnei Hashem ba'artzot ha'chaim. What does it mean to walk before God, the living God, in the land of the living? What is that? What are we talking about there? That's Eretz Yisrael. To really live out one's values and to manifest them without boundary, without limit. To manifest the Jewish spirit. That's what Eretz Israel is all about. That's why Israel is a Jewish state, right? That's why it's so sacred and holy, because it allows us as a nation to manifest who we truly are within us, the spirit that God has given us, and that yearning to release that and feel that, experience that in its fullness, that we all feel inside, that we really all feel inside if we're truthful with ourselves, right? That, my friends, is for Rav Kook what Eretz Yisrael is, and a yearning for Eretz Yisrael is. Our next session, we just finished the section on Eretz Yisrael. Our next session will go on to Milchama, onto war, which is a very interesting section, especially what's going on in general right now in the world. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed this session. Until next time, Am Yisrael Chai, everybody, and thank you so much for being here.